Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, and I'm bringing you my review of Eden Zero and Chapter 32. And even before I get into the chapter itself, there's a couple of things to note. The first and foremost is that as you can is that again this as you can see, I guess I'm bringing you this chapter at least from a bit of a day early, which is because apparently it uploaded today, but. But the weirdest thing is that of course, as you know, I read all the manga from pretty much all of my I read all a good majority of my manga from pretty much from it's to my manga rock app. But the thing is, when I basically saw the chapter for Eden Zero had updated, it was it was a weird situation where apparently it basically said that basically chapter 32 had updated like pretty much had updated at least a week ago, but that doesn't make sense because it was supposed to update tomorrow, or in this case, like I said, a day early. But yeah, I think any manga rock app users out there, if you can tell me what's going on, because I think Manga Rock's like pretty much calendar thing or something is calendar thing or calendar thing it is a little update calendar is a little behind, or a little on the glitchy side or something like that. But yeah, um, also the other thing to note of is that the other thing to note, and this is about the chapter itself, is pretty much has to do with the villain, has to do with the villain of this chapter. And when he was first introduced, his name was Jamiroff. But I think since then I think we've gotten like the updated official translation of his name, and it's changed to Jamiroff now. But yeah, so yeah, just a weird little thing there. Um, but having now that I got those two formalities out of the way, let's talk about the chapter itself. And okay, so right off the bat, I'm not gonna lie, I really like pretty much both of the color pages we got here in the beginning, but I especially like the one I especially like the color page that has to do with the chapter itself. Like in the beginning, where we see it was Rebecca, and she was waking up to pretty much everyone in her room. Like I really like that one because that one just felt like it was pretty much such. It felt like a little bit of classic Mashima. It reminded me of Fairy Tale, but we all know that at this point, I think that itself is a bit of a Mashima gag that he likes to do. And yeah, like when I saw everyone in Rebecca's room, and her waking up to everyone in her room, I couldn't help but laugh a little bit. Like I was chuckling for sure. It's such a Mashima gag at this point that it's kind of funny. um, so and yeah, from here, like this is one of those chapters, honestly, where there's just there's big reveal after big reveal. Like Mashima didn't waste hardly wasted a beat in revealing one thing after another. To start off, one of the big reveals is the Jamiroff is not actually Draken Joe's avatar, but he is definitely a bit of a subordinate of Draken Joe, and from there, and off that reveal, we also get a bit of a further reveal that Draken Joe himself is part of a group that's called the Six Demon Generals, who are known for pretty much destroying worlds. So going off that, and including their little reveal of Eden Zero's security being hacked, I think we can probably assume at this point that whatever's happened to pretty much the planet of Digitalis is part of some campaign that the Draken Joe has in order to destroy the entire planet. Otherwise, as stated in this chapter, Jamiroff would have been kicked out of the game long ago for killing both players and NPCs, and 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 yeah, and so I think what's causing all these corruptions in basically in pretty much the planet is probably like some kind of a computer virus. I think that's what we're probably looking at here. I mean, it was probably obvious. It was kind of obvious, I think, after a while to begin with. But yeah, this pretty much entire virus has basically spread through pretty much the entire planet from the looks of it, and it's prevented pretty much people like pretty much Jamiroff from pretty much being kicked out. Like I said, um, now whether or not we'll end up seeing Draken Joe himself, and pretty much show up in this arc, I'm not. It's one of those things where I have my doubts, at least when it comes to, pretty much Shiki and Draken Joe fighting, but just with the mention of these six generals, I'm thinking that all six of these guys are being set up as endgame antagonists, and even if we end up seeing, and even if we end up seeing pretty much Draken Joe in this chapter, he'll probably only be in the arc's climax in order to introduce himself to pretty much our main cast and Shiki. Like I think if Draken Joe ends up making an appearance, it'll probably only be in order to introduce himself to our heroes and say, hey, I exist. I'm the boss. I'm someone that you need to look out for. So I'd watch your back. I think that's kind of. I think that's pretty much how it might end up going in terms of getting introduced in terms of our heroes and Draken Joe interacting for the first time. I think. Now we also get the official introduction of Hermit in this chapter with a very cryptic message, and her words definitely make it. Hermit's words definitely make it clear that she pretty much is here intentionally in order to escape the outside world, because she's apparently lost faith in humanity. And I'm interested to learn as to what it was that basically caused her what caused her to think like this, because with this whole setup, what I like about it is that it's making what Mashima is making himself clear that Hermit and possibly Valkyrie are going to be the last two star shines aren't going to be the easiest to convince, and that they are going to have to go through a bit of an arc even before they end up joining end up joining ended up pretty much joining the gang in general. So yeah, I do like how Mashima is going to make it a little harder in order for these last two in order to be found, or in order for them to end up joining the crew, honestly. And I'll be honest, that whole scene of Jamiroff erasing that one NPC girl was actually terrifying, just from her expression alone, and as she disappeared into dust. Also, she disappeared into dust. Like that pretty much had me going, whoa, whoa. Like I'm not gonna lie. I know the girl was an NPC and whatnot, but even I was just that look of terror and horror on her face as she disappeared. Like, it was kind of unsettling, to be honest with you. Like, I'm like legitimately, whoa, Dougie. Oh, Dougie, I can't believe you just did that. Like, it's actually kind of amazing how much this arc has allowed Mashima in order to actually kind of get a little dark. Like, I know the girl was just data, and it clearly made that way, but it doesn't make it any less brutal to see, like, someone like disappearing before your very eyes. It almost felt like it felt like I was kind of watching. It kind of gave me a couple of PTSD flashbacks of Infinity War, but yeah. So yeah. Now with this, and of course we basically also see that pretty much Jamiroff has also been killing. We basically see that pretty much Jamiroff has killed players as well. Like we clearly see that players were basically stacked on top of a building, like in the almost like pretty much a shish kebab, and with this whole thing. And with this whole thing of Jamiroff pretty much clearly killing players, I think there is definitely kind of an elephant in the room that definitely needs to be addressed with this chapter, which is that we're definitely kind of entering into the sort of pretty much death game and basically and we're definitely entering into that death game and basically Sword Art Online territory, although Although to Eden Zero's credit so far, I think Mashima is already doing a better job with this kind of a setup, even more so than pretty much anything that pretty much SAO did. Just with Jamiroff alone being our main antagonist and how much of a psychotic monster he's being built up as. So yeah, it's like it feels like that Mashima is taking the death game concept and he's doing it better than SAO. I'm just gonna say it right now. He's doing the death so far just in this one chapter. He's kind of already done the death game thing a lot better than SAO ever could. Although to be fair, I think the real test is seeing as to where he takes this whole death game thing. If this is like a death game thing he's setting up, it should be interesting to see as to where he takes it from here, because at least when it comes to our main cast, like is basically Shiki, especially with Shiki, like is Mashima gonna handle Shiki in the same way that pretty much Kirito is basically a bit of a Deus ex machina, or a Kirito ex machina, or is Mashima gonna attempt to have everyone work towards the victory and beating the game? Personally, I'm already more confident in the latter than the former, because I just again, I go back to Jamiroff. He's already kind of a better villain than pretty much than any of the villains in the SAO franchise already. Um, but yeah, it should be if I'm just curious what he's gonna do with this whole death game concept for sure. But yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.